So it's the end of the WrestleMania weekend, obviously, and we've got through. There was a lot of shows, there was a lot of matches, and if you've seen my video before this, I was talking about all the matches I was looking forward to this weekend. I actually still haven't watched everything yet. There was so much on, especially with GCW just holding so many shows. We're going to talk about one of the other shows that happened this weekend, a very good show this weekend, and it was the ROH Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor yearly show. And every year I watch this show, the matches are always fantastic. So I'm just going to go through some of the matches that I really enjoy. I'm not going to go through every match, but I do recommend that you go out your way to watch Supercard of Honor if you still haven't had a chance to watch it yet. There was some fantastic matches, and I'm just going to go through all the ones that I really enjoyed in this card. So the first match that came up, and it was a surprise opener. This guy, what a weekend for this guy as well. So the opening match of the Supercard of Honor was the Vikingo again, taking on Commander. And when this match got announced, this was another sort of, maybe not the level of dream match that we had with Vikingo and Kenny Omega. But if you've seen Commander before, and I'm sure some of you had at GCW and AEW, I was really looking forward to this match. These guys, it was a great display. I'm just looking at my notes. It was a great display of lucha wrestling. If you've never really seen a full luchador match, this is definitely one to go watch. These two are two of the biggest rising stars in Lucha Libre right now, definitely. I will definitely be doing a video though, probably another video on the whole weekend for Vikingo, because he had so many amazing matches this weekend. He was definitely on another. He never seems to back down in his matches. He just has banger after banger. He never gets to a match and goes, maybe I'll take it a bit easy. I'll only do a couple of high fly moves. No. This guy goes all out. And these two wrestlers as well, Commander and Vikingo. I'm trying to think. The only other wrestler I could think that maybe works the ropes as good as these two guys is Rey Fenix. And now that's a triple threat match I really want to see now. But yeah, these two can just dance on the rope. The way Vikingo runs across the ropes to do his opening dives in this match was just absolutely fantastic. Surprisingly, at the start of this match, we actually got a bit of mat wrestling, some good mat wrestling as well, and just to show people that lucha wrestling is not always about the big high spot flying moves. These guys can wrestle as well on the mat, and I quite enjoyed some of the things they were doing. For a split second, I thought, I bet you they do a lot of this just to show people. But no, it wasn't too long until we got into the high flying, the hard hitting, the hard kicking stuff from both these guys. It was a fantastic match, so it was definitely. But anyway, look, so great opening match for Supercard. I would definitely, this is one actually, I think this was one of my favorite matches of the whole weekend. Not just of this show, but the whole weekend. It was a fantastic match. And it says Vikingo, his stock rate is just going higher and higher and higher, especially after this weekend. I mean, my look, he is, for a guy who's only 25, he is definitely the future. And again, keep an eye on Commander as well. He was phenomenal, but they're both phenomenal. Just going to go through mainly all the championship matches that happened on this, the main championship. So we got it was a great women's match. It was Yuka Sakazaki and Athena taking on for the Ring of Honor World's Women's Championship. And this was a match I saw on the card, and I'm a fan of Yuka Sakazaki. I think I love her entrance music, and she's fantastic in the ring. She's got great charisma, and I actually quite enjoyed the entrances. Yuka's got crazy Japanese entrance music, but Athena, I'm quite enjoying her as a heel at the moment. She had her entrance. It reminded me a lot of actually Bray Wyatt. This one, with the doll and the weird music. But then she stamps on it, laughs, and her music sort of kicks in. And so yeah, it was cool entrances from both of them. They had, I suppose, when you look at that card, they had to do something to sort of stand out a bit. Which is no offense to they're two great wrestlers, both of them, Yuka Sakazaki and Athena. You look at that card though, well, but it was great heel babyface work from both of them. Clearly, Yuka being the babyface. You can never imagine Yuka Sakazaki or even Riho as a heel, could you? But Athena she's been playing a great heel actually. I think they used her well on Ring of Honor. Some say they might want to see her more in AEW, but I'm quite happy with her being the ROH women's champion at the moment. It was it was an obvious size difference in the match as well, which is obvious with something with a lot of the Japanese women that come over, obviously. And they play it well. They always seem to play it well, and they always manage to seem, especially people like Yuka and Riho, they're very good at building that sympathy during the match, to build it, to get you to start rooting for them as well. But at the end of this match, I mean, Athena wins eventually. I mean, I didn't imagine Yuka going over in this match. I didn't imagine how they were going to put the title on her. So, it was a good match. I mean, it wasn't the best match of the night, but it wasn't a terrible match by any means at all. I mean, the two great athletes. But yeah, it was a fun match to watch this one, and probably the sensible thing to keep Athena. I mean, I'm trying to think of people who could come in and maybe take the title off her. But you could put it in the comment section below what you thought of this match and who do you think maybe could take the ROH Women's title off Athena. So we get to another more title matches, as I keep saying. So we had a TV title match, and this was an emotional one in a way. It was Samoa Joe versus Mark Brisco for the ROH TV television title, as Samoa Joe keeps calling himself, the king of television. There was a fantastic, if I remember right, there was a really good sort of preview video talking about Mark and obviously the late great, rest in peace, Jay Brisco, and it was quite emotional when Mark was talking about. There was a part in the video, I think it was the day of Jay's passing, where when he last saw him, they actually did like a little photo, a little promo, and they had these new hats where it said 13 times, because they were 13 times Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. And it was a kind of an emotional video from, and it was talking about also how Mark Brisco has never won. He's gone for the TV title before, I think, maybe even against Samoa Joe, but he's never won it. And that was kind of the build. Emotional match, obviously, with Mark coming out, the cheers that he gets, obviously deserved. And you know what? He's proven to be a really, obviously he's done singles matches before, but he's really starting to prove he can go singles. As much as we're going to miss Jay Brisco, we're going to miss the Brisco brothers, the Brisco brothers as a tag team. It's great seeing that Mark hasn't sort of gone away. He's kept himself amongst obviously all his friends and family. His family were obviously at ringside. He's got like 7 kids, so they were all there too. And for an emotional match, this was Mark Brisco and Samoa Joe, both fantastic in the ring. This had a feeling of an old Ring of Honor style match, and it was hard hitting. There was some of the chop noises in this match. Some of the chop noises from these guys was just ringing out through the arena. It was a hard hitting, but these two guys fully respect, even though Joe's a heel and Brisco's the face. You could tell in this match that obviously both these guys backstage are very good friends, and they obviously, Samoa misses Jay as well. They go back a long time, these two guys. We're talking like the early, 20 years ago, the early 2000s with Ring of Honor, which was, so it was an emotional, hard-hitting match for both these guys. I would, this for the emotion and the respect, I would definitely go out your way to watch this match. Now, unfortunately, I must admit, I did have. No, Samoa Joe, he went over. He went over in this match. He retained the TV title, which part of me was, at the time I was thinking just go put it on Mark. Just for this amazing feel-good moment, just put it on Mark. But then obviously I was trying to think of what would you do then afterwards. But I was like, they could have put it on Mark. Definitely could have had him going about the TV title, and nobody would complain at that, and I certainly wouldn't have complained about it. But no, he didn't. Samoa Joe picked up the win. He retains the title, which is fine by me. I was fine. The match was so good. It was so emotional at the end with Mark and all his family and his kids, and it was just a very special moment. So it was, and it was a special night. Trying to, obviously Ring of Honor had other pay-per-views since, but Supercard is always a big one, and not seeing the Briscoes have a tag match was, it was a bit sad, but as I said, go your way to watch this match. You want to see a nice, a really emotional match from two guys who give it their all. These two guys gave it their all in the ring. They really was. But just It's a very nice match. I would go your way to go watch that one. So yep, well, we get into the next match here. This was a match that just a particular name. So it was the ROH Pure Wrestling title. We were getting to see, it was Wheeler Yuta, the current champion, taking on the great Katsuya. I could bloody get his first name correctly. Anyway, Shibata. Sorry, we had the great Shibata, and I was saying in the preview video before this, anytime we get to see Shibata in the ring, we should just appreciate it. We get to watch Shibata. We get to see people like me. I got back into professional wrestling literally just after Shibata had his famous headbutt with Okada, and it was life-threatening and career-threatening, life-threatening. And I went back, watched his older matches in New Japan and Noah, and so getting the fact that he's back and we actually get to see Shibata in the ring, I think we should all appreciate that fact. The man doesn't have to do it, but he's called the wrestler for a reason, and he definitely was in this match as well. So yeah, as I said, getting to see Shibata back in the ring is always great. And we had cocky Yuta, who I really like in the ring. I think he still needs a bit of work, maybe. Like, I can say anything at all, I'm not even a wrestler. His charisma in that is fine in the ring, it's just when he does his promo work. But however, in this style of match, I like Wheeler Yuta, and having Shibata too. And Yuta was all cocky. He was saying before the match, the last time these guys met or trained at New Japan Strong, this was before Wheeler was in the Blackpool Combat Club. And now that he's in that club now, and obviously he's been sort of fighting and training with people like Claudio, Moxley, and Danielson, and obviously when he was there at Regal, he was basically saying to Shibata in this match, hey look, I'm a different guy. This isn't the same Wheeler Yuta you remember from New Japan Strong. I'm definitely cut above the rest now. It was another sort of striking, sort of traditional sort of match. As I say, getting to see Shibata working the mat is fantastic. I've never seen anyone who transitions smoothly between his holds and knows how to sort of make it look like how to hold his opponent down. And you could tell during this match, Wheeler was getting more and more frustrated because he's starting to think, why can't I match this guy? I've been training with the Blackpool Combat Club. I've been training with these great wrestlers. Why am I not up to this sort of standard? Which he got his offense in, but you could just tell with Shibata's no-sells a few chops and then would just give a nice forearm to Wheeler Yuta in this match. And it was kind of like, I was surprised as well. I mean, the winner, Shibata went over. He won the title. They changed titles on this. And I've always thought they were going to I thought Wheeler Yuta would go over. Possibly a little bit of shenanigans from the Blackpool Combat Club. But I thought, like, well, this is a great chance to put this Shibata rub onto Wheeler Yuta. I thought, if you give Yuta a win against Shibata, this will make him look really strong. But no, it went the other way. It went the route of Shibata basically saying, hey, look, you've improved definitely since the last time I saw you, but to me, you're still a boy. He'll still be a young lion to him. It was fun to watch. Definitely, as I said, just getting to see Shibata in a ring. And if you've never seen Shibata in the ring, the guy is solid wrestler, solid with his PK kicks, his hits, just his whole stature towards professional wrestling. And hopefully, because it's been a dream match of mine for a while, I would love to see Shibata take on Bryan Danielson. I mean, who wouldn't want to see that match? So I'm keeping fingers crossed that somewhere down the line, maybe not this year, maybe next year, that we get to see somewhere on an AEW show or a New Japan show that we get to see Shibata take on Bryan Danielson. But this match was excellent too. Definitely an excellent match. Wheeler Yuta definitely showed his potential in the ring. He is, as much as some people maybe don't like his mic work or maybe his charisma, he is solid in the ring. He is a solid worker. So yeah, that's definitely one I would go out of my way to. I mean, you should just watch the whole show. I don't know why I should keep saying, go watch this match, go watch this match. Just go watch the whole bloody show. And as I said before as well, if you've never watched a Ring of Honor pure title match, I will say the rules are different. That's what makes this championship quite a bit different from other championships. So they have the traditional, you only get 3 rope breaks. So they put you in a submission, you grab the rope for the break, you get 3 of those. And once you use all 3, if they put you back in another submission, you can't use the ropes to break at all. The other rules are, well, it's a 60-minute time limit, like most championships are. And also it is no closed fists. No closed fists as well. I'm sure there's a couple other technical rules in there, but that's kind of the main sort of rules for the ROH Pure Wrestling title. So that, that's definitely interesting. And we'll see what they do with Shibata. I mean, is he going to be in Ring of Honor more? Are they going to put this title on New Japan Strong, or is he going to take it to Japan? Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to. I'm quite intrigued to see what they do with Shibata with this title, and it's great to see Shibata holding a title again as well. So yeah, it was a good match. Definitely a good match. So another special moment, and obviously, as I said, ROH was just going to do. There was going to be more tributes to Jay Brisco. And I thought it was a great idea when Mark Briscoe had a chat with Tony Khan, and he said this on AEW, that they were going to have a ladder match, and it was going to be called the Reach for the Sky ladder match, which I thought was a nice little touch there. I thought that was quite clever. And oh boy, this ladder match. I mean, there was another great ladder match this weekend from GCW. From the Scramble match, actually, I want to say Janela's Spring Break. That was really good, but this ladder match was, oh my god, the things they did in this match. So look, the 4 teams in this match, we had the Lucha Brothers, we had Top Flight, we had the Kingdom with Bennett and Taven, and we had LIF in there with Rush and Draliskiko. I think that's how you pronounce that right. You've got 4 mad teams in there, 4 batshit crazy teams in there, and a ladder match. And the fact that you got the Lucha Bros, who are just ladder match kings at this rate. We've seen them in ladder matches with the Young Bucks. It's crazy. We've seen Matt Taven. He actually won his only Ring of Honor World Championship in a ladder match, funnily enough. It was, as I said, a great little tribute for the match for Jay Briscoe, the name of it. And there was so many crazy moves and crazy spots. I couldn't go through it one by one for sure. If I had to be honest, I actually thought they were going to put the titles on the Kingdom. Being in the Kingdom have been in our Ring of Honor for how long? I'm sure somebody in the comment section will tell me when the Kingdom or when these guys started in Ring of Honor, because they've been about for ages. And I think, I felt like for people like Taven and Bennett, they were kind of due a win. I think maybe a title run, but no, it didn't go that way. So the winners of this match, it went the way of the Lucha Bros, who obviously are one of the best tag teams in the world right now. They haven't been. I'm not going to say they haven't been hot, but just because we've not seen them as much in AEW or been utilized for the championship sort of contentions there, it is kind of nice to see them win a new set of belts. It's their first Ring of Honor titles as well. It's the first time they've held those titles. I think it's the right decision. Obviously, they're one of the best tag teams in the world. If Ring of Honor are going to start, obviously they've got their new TV Weekly. Well, they got their weekly show, obviously, and obviously they're going to try and make it obviously viable to watch. They got to show like, hey, look, these titles mean something. So putting your title on Shibata, putting titles on the Lucha Brothers, these big massive names could only hopefully help ROH and get more people to watch Ring of Honor, because they're a good company. A lot of people are a bit mad about Ring of Honor. I've always been a Ring of Honor fan. I've been to 2 Ring of Honor shows in Edinburgh. So yeah, definitely, I think the correct idea to put the titles on the Lucha Brothers. But if you want to go and watch a crazy ladder match, some of the spots these guys took was very, very. Some of the backs, I know Dante Martin, he'll be feeling it, and all these guys will be feeling it. I mean, Bennett got busted open pretty badly in this match. Dante Martin took this destroyer through not just one table, not just 2 tables, 4 tables stacked up. It was something to behold. So if you want to just watch a match with crazy spots, just crazy mental, high flying, just move, go watch this match. I loved this. I didn't think much of this match before I watched it. Then I realized the teams that were in it, and I was like, wait a second, hold on. Watched the match. Just fell in love. I might have to watch it again. It was. If you really enjoyed the Kingo Commando match, you're gonna love this match as well. If you're into the sort of sport monkey stuff, which I'm into as well. I know a lot of fans aren't into that sort of stuff, but if you are, yeah, this is definitely one worth to go watch after this weekend for sure. So we get to the main event. It's main event time, and this was one. It's strange because they could have. Some people might have said the build could have been better, but there was already if you knew these guys in the history, there was already a build, like 15 years build for this match. It is for the ROH World Title, and it was the holder Claudio Castagnoli taking on his old rival Eddie Kingston. And when they announced this match, I knew this was going to be emotionally charged. It was going to be hard hitting, and I was definitely looking forward to seeing sort of how they were going to finish this match off. So obviously we know the history between Claudio and Eddie Kingston. We've seen the interviews between them. I mean, the build wasn't that bad towards that match. Some people said they could have done more, but if you knew the history, there was already enough build for this match. And the whole story being Claudio going, "Hey, look, we were tag team partners together. We lived together. We worked together." And you look at all the people that they worked together with, they've all went on to higher levels. And the story being that Eddie Kingston, Claudio had so much potential. And it was almost kind of the same story, but it's been kind of Eddie's story for about a year or two now, is how he had potential to be one of the greats. He could have went some of the higher places and didn't. But Eddie Kingston being Eddie Kingston, not giving an absolute damn or what anybody thinks or says about him at all. But I must admit, before this match, I was rooting for Eddie. I mean, who doesn't root for Eddie? Eddie's fantastic. You have no idea if his promos are real or fake. If it's a shit, it's a work. And Eddie's possibly one of the most liked and most relatable. He's one of the most relatable wrestlers going right now. Everyone can relate to, his anger, his depression. He seems more real than anybody else in professional wrestling right now, and that's why he is so well loved. I love Eddie Kingston. I've got a lot, I've got definitely time for that guy, and especially his promo work as well. But anyway, so that's kind of the story leading into this match. And it was all about kind of like Claudio showing Eddie, look, we all know Claudio is just built, and this guy can do things other wrestlers can't. And his strength levels are unbelievable as well. And it was sort of showing to Eddie, like, this is what you could have been. We could have been like this together, if only you had put the work in. But Eddie obviously didn't give Ring of Honor have this code of conduct that you shake before the match and you shake after the match. Eddie Kingston just straight up walks up and we've seen this a few times with some people in Ring of Honor, just doesn't shake his hand, just flips him off straight away before the match starts. And this was another sort of emotionally charged, heavy hitting, traditional Ring of Honor match, which I like as well, especially for the old school fans. And so we got more. I mean, Kingston's a man. We all know Kingston's a man for the King's Road style, and he loves to get those chops in, get that fighting spirit going. And it definitely was a fighting spirit match. And Claudio clearly showing that he still had the edge, which he did have the edge, obviously. But the beauty story of Eddie Kingston is the man just keeps coming back. He just keeps coming back, no matter how much Claudio tried to put him down, tried to show him who's the boss, who's the stronger person. It's the one thing I love watching is Eddie Kingston's comebacks in matches, because he's got great charisma in the ring, he's got great showmanship, he can show pain, and he just kept coming back at Claudio, and Claudio just was trying to think of how to get him down. And I said, part of me really kind of wanted Eddie to win, because I think Eddie is due a world title, but part of me also thought, well, if you want him to go for a world title, you might as well get him to go for the AEW. I mean, in my head, I would love to see a program between Kingston and MJF. Could you imagine? Maybe not this year, maybe next year, depending on how long they want to hold the title on MJF. I mean, why not do the story of MJF of Eddie Kingston rising up again and finally, and MJF will do the whole, well, you lost the Ring of Honor title, you lost this match, you lost that match. Why am I worried about you? You bought every big match. And then, you know, have Kingston go over would just, it would blow the roof off the arena, wouldn't it? Anyway, going back to this match. So, yeah, it was Claudio Castagnoli went over in this match and retains the Ring of Honor World title, which part of me was a bit, not surprised, but at the same time, as I said earlier, with Eddie, I would rather have Eddie going towards the AEW World title. So I wasn't too bummed out that Claudio won. But it got interesting at the end. So after Claudio won, we had the BCC come in, Wheeler Yuta. Obviously, he lost his match earlier night, but thank goodness Claudio kept his belt. And they were going to start. I think Moxley was there too. They were going to have a beatdown of Eddie Kingston. Of all the people to come and save him, Shibata comes out. His music hits. He comes out. He makes the save, and just seeing Eddie Kingston, who's a man, if you follow Eddie Kingston on social media and Instagram, you know this man is deeply, deeply in love with the old school sort of New Japan or the Japanese style of professional wrestling, person Noah, stuff like that. And you could tell with Kingston standing in the ring there with Shibata, he had nothing but like respect for this man. Obviously, Shibata's probably one of those wrestlers that Kingston watched a lot of as well. So that was it was a nice save, a nice little finish there for the show. And overall, the Supercard shows are always, I feel, slightly underrated, because every year I watch the Supercard show and there's always amazing in-ring matches. As I said, the opening match from this with Vikingo and Commando was fantastic as well. From the women's match was interesting as well, with great charisma. And then, you know, you had the emotionally charged TV title match with Mark Brisco, Samoa Joe, and then you had this crazy, we got to see Shibata. Then we had a crazy ladder match. It was just, there was some of the most insane spots going. And then we had a really nice, I want to say nice, like a good title match at the end, which again, emotionally charged. I think Ring of Honor, for some of these stories, like Samoa Joe and Mark, and then like Claudio and Eddie, I thought some of the video productions was really good and telling, especially for casual fans who maybe just watching the show for the sake of watching the show, could understand the importance of some of these matches and the importance of the history of Ring of Honor as well. Yeah, look, I've got a lot of videos to do this week. I've still got stuff to watch. I'm going to be doing a video on all the matches from Vikingo. I'm probably going to do a video talking about Speedball Mike Bailey's amazing weekend that he just had with some of the classic matches. And then some of the more interesting matches that also happened this weekend from some other shows, so I've still got some to watch. But look, I thought I'd talk about at least Supercard of Honor. It was always a good show with Supercard. It's great to see Ring of Honor. I think that was the biggest crowd they've ever had. If somebody could comment to me what the attendance was for that show, I'm sure somebody said, I'm sure Ian Riccaboni on commentary said this was possibly the biggest Ring of Honor crowd. But it looked fantastic. Tell you what, as much as people sort of mock Tony Khan and like why he bought Ring of Honor, can we just say, if you go watch Supercard of Honor, that was one of the best looking production-wise Ring of Honor shows I've ever seen. Like, I thought it looked fantastic. So, props to that. So anyway, look, I'm going to wrap it up here. I know this is going to be a bit of a longer video. I said I'll come back this week, talk about some other matches that happened. Obviously, we get some more match recommendation videos coming up as well. So look, go out your way, go watch Supercard of Honor. It was a fantastic show, and I will see you again later.